Oh, you starting? All right. Yeah. So you're aware of Naruto saying he needs the Nine Tails chakra to fight Sasuke, right?
Yeah, and I'm assuming you just think that means he's saying like combatively he wouldn't be able to win without the Nine Tails chakra.
Yeah, sure.
I'd say it can just also be in reference instead to the fact that like there's obviously things Naruto needs to overcome in order to like defeat Sasuke, because like his goal isn't just killing Sasuke, such as like
Like, can you say that again?
like what he said means when he's talking about like overcoming the Nine Tails is more of like an internal conflict thing, because obviously the Nine Tails is the source of his hatred, and if he's still like a hateful person,
Well, that
then he can't
doesn't
overcome Sasuke.
defeat it. That doesn't defeat it being like him needing this source of power to overcome like Sasuke.
Yeah,
either.
but if we have two individual interpretations, obviously you would need to substantiate as to why yours is more likely or mine is less likely. I'm sure you'd agree.
No, I don't, because you haven't proven why like yours defeats what I'm saying. So it doesn't contradict.
If it doesn't have to contradict your interpretation. The two interpretations can also coexist, but you also would need to prove that they can coexist, or that they do coexist.
No, because my claim isn't that it is only this case. My claim is that it is this case because of this reason.
Okay, why?
Because we know that in Naruto specifically, it's consistent for. Yo, shut the fuck up, bro. You're so retarded.
Does anyone have perms?
Yo, that Kuzma is gonna lose, bro.
Yo, I already told you, when you come to my city, we can fight.
But you lost already. Why you fucking talking if you lost? Just keep your fucking mouth shut and quit. Stop the debate right now. Fucking, I don't know, go do something else.
Gil, with all due respect, though, every single time you've been in DC with me, you've been violated. Just shut the fuck up. It's not worth it. It just really is.
If I could violate
no, Gil, shut up. Like,
okay.
Mute up, buddy. Mute up. I don't give a shit.
You have perms. Lipe, like, mute
no, but I'm gonna tell you right now. If I could violate you guys right now, I would. But I'm fucking outside. Otherwise, I would have like started already.
Hey, on God, bro, on God. We didn't.
Okay, Gil. How about this? You can do it afterwards, all right?
Yeah. On God.
Yeah, I'm in nature right now, bro.
You're in nature right now.
So can you please, for the love of God, mute yourself?
Okay, thank you, Gil. Okay, sorry, you were explaining. Okay, so I asked you why in this case is it both. So you were going on to explain as to why.
Well, no, I'm not. Okay, no. So you're trying to burden shift, right? So you need it to be one way. I don't need it to be one way. That's the difference. You do
need it to be at least one way.
Yeah, so let me give the argument for why I think it's powerful.
So then it isn't a burden shift. I would just ask you to prove it. He's lost.
Okay, but no, your original claim was that it was
you can just continue explaining that, dog. It's all right.
Okay, yeah. So we know in Naruto is consistent for when Naruto finds this like powerful like person he needs to fight, he'll like rely on the Nine Tails to like defeat this person. So I think it's just consistent within the story for this statement to be power related, because we know this is like something like Naruto has done before in the past.
But Naruto doesn't necessarily do that willingly, and even then, he says in the statement that he like is kind of wary of using the Nine Tails.
Well, what does will mean? Wait, what does will mean? Like, what does that mean?
Like against it, like when the Nine Tails' power comes out, outside of I think versus Neji, and I think versus, or when he summoned Gamabunta, there might be another example. I don't know. He's never actively like, Kurama, like, give me the power. He doesn't ask for it.
Wait, hold up. Before we get into that, though, because I don't think that's at all.
Like, it doesn't necessarily matter what I'm saying. He just says that he's like wary of the Nine Tails' power.
Okay, so my point I was trying to prove was that this was power related. I'm assuming you just haven't contradicted that at all.
Okay, it doesn't have. Now we're just going in a circle.
Well, yeah, because you haven't contradicted what I'm saying. You're just saying it can be this way because of this reason. Well, that doesn't defeat what I'm saying. My claim doesn't need it to be just this way. You do.
The interpretation itself does not defeat your claim, but the argument that follows from the existence of the interpretation does. Because either way, both of us need it to be a certain way. You know, you need it to either be both.
Yeah, and I've rationalized why it's power related.
Okay, okay, but the thing is, I gave you a reason as to why it isn't power related in response to your reason.
And that was?
The reason was the fact that Naruto was wary of using Kurama's power like that. So for him to be referencing the power like he's going to be taking in as like the same kind of way he relied on Kurama's power before is just odd. It doesn't make sense.
Can you show that?
Clearly against it. Yeah, I can show you that. Don't worry. 490 is the chapter. All right. If you just check the bait and scans, I'll just send both pages because both kind of are just like the same context. It also includes the scan you're using, just so anybody who's curious can look at it. Specifically, the fact that like that's when Captain Yamato told me I need to fight using my own power, not only the Nine Tails, or not the Nine Tails. And then,
if that's before he fights Sasuke, I don't give a fuck because the point I'm making is that Sasuke is such a threat that that he would need to use the Nine Tails. So if this is before
why?
Power,
that's literally circular.
No. Because you're trying to apply this logic from something that he's
Which
wary
logic
of
specifically?
using.
Okay, cool.
What happened?
I was just asking what do you mean by logic, but you just explained the logic there, so let's go.
Well, it doesn't. Just listen to the point I'm saying, and you'll understand. But yeah, so you're trying to apply like I guess the standard is a better word to use, like the standard that he's applying to himself of like, I won't use the Nine Tails power, right? I'm gonna rely on my own power. But if the point I'm making is that his own power is not enough, and Sasuke is so powerful that he literally needs the Nine Tails, and we know that. No. I've already proven that with the. I've already rationalized that.
That's what's in.
Wait, hold up. Can you let me finish?
But there's a problem. That's what's in contention. So I bring up the alternate interpretation.
You can say that, but that doesn't defeat the rationalization I gave.
Bruhmius,
you haven't attacked that at all.
Bruhmius, hold on. Okay, so you bring up this statement. I give you an alternate interpretation, and I ask you, can you please demonstrate likelihood?
A non-contradicting one, by the way.
By the way, please, let me finish. And then he has two. You say, okay, so it doesn't contradict, but I'm like, it contradicting in of itself doesn't mean that your premise or either of your interpretations, because obviously the three interpretations that exist now where it's both, it's one, or it's the other. So I say, okay, so why is the fact that it's talking about combat likely? And then you're going to this, like, okay, well, every time he's fought opponent previously, he's ended up having to delve into the Nine Tails' power. But then I explained to you that that's something that Naruto doesn't like, right? And then your response is, oh, but that's before he fights Sasuke. And Sasuke is so strong, it must have just changed his opinion. But Sasuke being strong is what we originally started arguing about. So that's entirely circular. So you're going to need something else.
Yeah, so let me finish what I was saying earlier before you cut me off like a retard. So the problem with this, like, this argument you're trying to use is that you've never encountered, like, at least up to this point, right? Like, he's never fought someone like Sasuke, right? That's the point I'm trying to make, is that he hasn't fought Sasuke up to this point. He's never fought someone as strong as Sasuke up to this point. So how are you using this to prove that?
What if I asked you to prove that?
What happened?
What if I asked you to prove that?
I can just use the fact that that Sasuke doesn't have the Mangekyo at this point. So yes, no.
I'm asking you, how can you prove that Naruto's never fought someone as strong as Sasuke till this point?
I'm using evidence of absence to prove that, right? We literally have never seen him fight MS Sasuke. That would be impossible. He doesn't
Yeah,
exist.
somebody as obviously like if this is a power thing, he'd want the Ninetales against somebody as strong as Sasuke or stronger. So how are you proving he hasn't fought somebody that strong before?
No, I'm saying he hasn't fought Sasuke.
Why? Okay, so why specifically Sasuke? What trait about Sasuke means he wants to use the Ninetales as power? Because you're saying it's strength. So sorry for assuming that you meant strength. Then, I'm assuming you mean something else.
No, yeah, I'm talking about power.
Okay, so then prove he hasn't fought somebody Sasuke's strength or more powerful.
You want me to prove that like Sasuke? I don't know what you're trying to get at.
Okay, so you made the claim. The reason why he's changing his mind now is the fact the reason why it could be different now is the fact he's never fought somebody as strong as Sasuke.
No, that's not my claim. That's not my claim.
You did claim that. We can ask people like Philip or Kawaki or sorry, fucking.
Yeah, you did claim that. You did fucking claim that.
No, I didn't, Gil. Shut the fuck up.
I mean, if you want to leave this here and we can just check the recording.
I don't want to leave it.
You want to clarify? You want to clarify? Okay, cool.
Your claim is contingent on this necessarily applying to foes like Sasuke, right? Because if it isn't, then you have no way of proving like he would still uphold the standard in the face.
Which claim?
What happened?
I'm asking. You said your claim requires or is contingent on this. I'm asking you which claim.
That he doesn't like using the Ninetales and he wants to rely on his own power.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I proof that. Yeah.
Yeah, but he hasn't met. Like, you have to prove he's met someone like Sasuke for the standard to still apply. Like, your claim is contingent on that.
What? Okay, so then I ask you. Okay, what trait about Sasuke?
No, that's not my burden. That's not okay. You see, that's what you're not understanding, and this is why I say you're burden shifting. That's not my burden to prove. This is your assertion, so you have to prove it.
Okay,
this is what your claim is contingent on.
Well, no, hold on. If something is the standard, and Naruto even says here after he met Sasuke that, oh, okay, I need to do this, and this, or like I didn't want to do this, and this.
Marcus, why does this apply to MS Sasuke?
I was explaining why.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, good, thank you. So what I was saying was that this is the standard. Naruto says this. He even says during the pain fight, oh, when Hinata goes down, I lost it, and it could fall apart again. And obviously, we're arguing about what he means. What about Sasuke made him want to use the Ninetales as power? Your claim is, oh, it's strength. We've already been over Sasuke changing his mind. That is a fact. And what we're currently arguing, or the original claim, was what trait of Sasuke's made Naruto want to do this? Which is then obviously your burden to prove, since you're the one who needs this evidence to go through it. So I'm asking you, okay, so clearly the trait that changes him has to be power. That's your claim, the claim you initially made. So is it not power now? I need you to clarify.
Yeah, and then I've argued that it's consistent for him to still rely on this power from like previous examples. You brought up Bane. That happened after this example. So yeah, that doesn't defeat the argument.
So the example I gave is Naruto setting the standard after the Four Tails fight, and it goes up until Pain. We agree it changed at Sasuke. We disagree on the reason, and then I ask you to substantiate what are.
No, it didn't even change. It didn't even change with Sasuke.
Okay, so then Naruto doesn't need the Ninetales as power versus Sasuke?
No. You're not understanding. You're using this statement from what is it, like chapter 300 or some shit like that, right? But we know after this point and points prior to this, right, that he still relied on the Ninetales, even though he doesn't like it.
Standard. Hold on. Prior wouldn't matter if he sets the standards at 300, and he relied on the Ninetales as power because he went berserk versus Hinata. Or versus Pain, sorry. Versus Hinata. No, because he went berserk versus Pain, and he didn't like it. Because afterwards, he's like, the seal could fall apart again.
Can you show that? Can you show he did it because he went berserk or some shit like that? Whatever the fuck you're saying.
It's in the scan, but when Pain took Hinata down, I lost it. He says he loses control. He literally says he goes berserk in the scan. It also doesn't. It doesn't take much memory power to remember that when Hinata nearly died, or at least died in front of Naruto, he was like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna go crazy." Come on, now.
Wait. Do you think like Naruto like prior to this statement liked using the Nine Tails power?
Definitely not. I don't think Naruto. The fact that Naruto has to use the Nine Tails power, he even seems a little reluctant to after the Sasuke fight. He's like, I can't hide from it forever. So I don't think until they work together, I would say probably nothing changes. But I mean, just for the sake of argument, I'll say until Sasuke, he was opposed to the idea.
Yeah, but like even so, like you're trying to say that that like the anger or some like what was you're trying to say like the his
anger is
hatred
what caused when he saw Hinata get impaled, he says here he loses it. That's what he says. Yes. That is what I'm saying.
So like but like prior to this instance, he's also used the Nine Tails power. Like even
prior to that, look, the time between what was it? Orochimaru's the fella and Pain, he used the Nine Tails' power very, very slightly, a single time, and that's it.
No, I'm talking about prior to that. Like
but prior is before he set the standards.
Okay, wait. So do you think hatred is like the sole reason why this power comes out?
I don't think hatred is the sole reason the power comes out. They literally say in these scans as well, the seal is just weakening generally. But hatred accelerates it. Hence why Naruto says when he loses it, the Six Tails emerge. And nearly took out Pain.
Yeah, so I don't understand how you're proving why, like, because like the problem with the scan is that you're saying he doesn't like to use it, so like it would point to this idea that he wouldn't want to use it against Sasuke, right?
Yeah, the idea is that when it comes to your interpretation, the power interpretation, up until this point, he's disliked using the power, but something changes versus Sasuke, which is why we are then arguing.
What he wants to do is not at all like has nothing to do with what he's like willing to do though.
So I mean, it should be what like he could have relied on it.
It's clearly not because he's done it prior to this despite not liking it. And he's done it after this despite not liking it.
He hasn't done it. He hasn't done it willingly. He lost control. He said it right there.
What do you mean so what do you mean he hasn't done it willingly?
He didn't do it willingly. He lost it. He went berserk.
That's what I'm like. Okay, yeah.
You're so lost.
No, because you're retarded. Because I asked you this earlier. If he lost his mind and lost himself to hatred, the other times he used it, and you said fucking no. And then I pointed out how there's times he used it against Sasuke.
Said no to what?
Hold up, let me finish my point.
Well, no, I need you to clarify. You use these vague words. I need you to clarify.
Marcus boo boo.
What did I say no to? What did I say no to? What did I say no to?
What happened?
What did I say no to? You said I said no to something.
No, I asked. Remember earlier, I asked you like.
So you just said I said okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, thank you, boo.
Yeah,
like I was saying.
What did you ask?
you just said you was gonna let me go, and then you keep talking.
Let you go and tell me what you asked. Let you go and tell me what you asked. So do it.
Yeah, because remember, I asked you earlier. I was like, if instances prior to this, he didn't like using the Nine Tails power, and he didn't use the Nine Tails power as a result of hatred, and you said yeah.
Yeah, but before the Four Tails, he used it, and then after the Four Tails, he didn't like using it. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, no, you said he didn't like using it prior to this like instance. Like he never liked using the Nine Tails power.
I never said that. I said prior to the Pain instance, he hasn't liked it. Literally, my claim has always been.
No, I asked you. No.
We can. Since you've been using vague language, we can just assume. What's the fucking razor? Hanlon's razor. Have I said that? What I meant was that between the Four Tails instance and the Six Tails instance, he's been opposed to using the Nine Tails power. He dislikes it. There you go. I hope everything is clear now.
Okay, and this is why I asked you earlier if you think he didn't like using the Nine Tails prior.
Yeah, okay, well now I've clarified. So continue.
Okay, so then this led into whether or not what he likes doing has anything to do with what he's willing to do.
Okay, so can you give me an example of him delving into the Nine Tails' power willingly let it do all the shit it's been doing, like versus Pain and Orochimaru? Are you like, do you have any example of him willingly doing that?
You just like answered your own question, right? Where like he gave into his whole like he gave into his own
versus no, I'm asking you, can you prove anytime he's willingly let the Ninetales do what it wants to do? And when I bring up Pain and Orochimaru, that's what I mean when I say do what it wants to do. Not Naruto willingly
he gave into his hatred. That's a form of like his will giving into the power.
Well, obviously like that's not what Naruto like. Okay, what Naruto is willing to do and what Naruto is like wants to do. Him giving into hatred is something you do. Like going berserk isn't something you will to do. Obviously, going berserk is going berserk. Definitionally, it's like you lose it. You lose control. Right?
Yeah, but in those instances, right? Like you could correct me if I'm wrong, but in the scan, he's like, I gave my will to Kurama because of my I just gave my will to him, right? So that was a conscious choice he made.
Yeah, but versus Orochimaru, yes, and then versus Pain, he lost it.
Yeah, so like okay,
those are two different wordings.
What do you mean?
Okay, willingly giving into hatred and just absolutely losing it are totally different. You can just snap, not even make the decision, and just freak out, or you can be like Kurama.
No, but that's not. But that's not what you're saying.
He a bitch. Sorry, that's not what you're saying. Okay, clarify that.
No, I'm not arguing. I'm not arguing that like he's giving into his hatred. I'm saying that like okay, he can lose control and get fucking super pissed like the Hulk, right? But it's still a choice to like say, okay, you know what, Kurama, you take it over from here. Like that's his choice. The reasoning doesn't matter. It's still his choice to do it.
No, that's literally the opposite of what he says.
What do you mean?
Naruto says he loses it. Like Naruto never says, "Oh, I gave in to Kurama." I said, "Kurama, give me your power." He literally just said he loses.
That's what I asked. Hold on, let me pull up the scan then.
Because when you asked me, do I think it's the sole reason? I said no, but that doesn't mean that it isn't a reason or a major factor. That's probably something you should have clarified with me before. But yes, you can pull up the scan if you want.
Yeah, so you see in the top left, he's like, I gave him my will or whatever the fuck he said.
Yep. Versus Orochimaru, who did that.
Yeah, so he let Kurama take control, so like he could get this power.
Orochimaru, he did that. Yeah, that's true.
What happened?
I've agreed. I said, yeah, versus Orochimaru, he gave into the Ninetales. Yep. He said, take over. I agree. So where's that going?
Okay, yeah. So that would just okay, yeah. So even though your whole refuter is that he doesn't want to do this thing, right? So
yeah,
I'm saying that doesn't matter because
after the Orochimaru fight and Yamato's advice, yeah. But before that, during the Orochimaru fight, yeah, he willingly gives into the Ninetales.
Yeah, can you prove that?
Prove what?
Everything you just said.
I feel like you're fumbling. Can you clarify? Which I'm assuming that there are different claims I made in that. So repeat the claims to me, then ask me which ones you want.
No, you're saying he didn't. You're saying after the Orochimaru fight, he didn't like giving it.
And in the scan, the first of the two scans I sent on the left-hand page, middle panel, he says, hold on. I ended up hurting Sakura. That's when Captain Yamato told me I need to fight using my own power, not the Ninetales. Then obviously after this, he learns the Rasen Shuriken. He commits himself to learning Sage Mode. All in the time span that I allotted, by the way. He specifically learns these things, by the way, just for clarity. So, yeah.
Okay, so let me get this straight, right? Mm-hmm. You're saying that in the like against Orochimaru and against Pain, right? It's like specifically him losing control, and that's the reason why he goes
versus Pain. He says it's because he lost it. versus Orochimaru, who said
Yeah.
he willingly gives it to him. Yes.
Wait, but why does why when Naruto says that I need the Kurama's chakra, why is that in reference to like the version 2 forms?
Which one? The one at the bottom. I need Ninetales chakra to fight Sasuke.
Like when he said yeah.
Well, I mean, specifically, he just seems to have relying on his power, not the Ninetales' at all. He says, I don't want to rely on the Ninetales' power.
The whole point of like learning to control Kurama's power is to make it your power.
I mean, not necessarily. I mean, Naruto doesn't seem to think so here, even. Because he literally says that, okay, I can't hide from it forever in response to him saying things like, oh, Yamato said I can't use the Ninetales' power after rely on my own, which is again why I brought up the fact that after, what happened on the bridge,
no, I don't think that's at all connected. And I don't think
they're all there. It's all the same conversation. The conversation at hand is literally Naruto. We're going to give you the key to the Ninetales' power.
You can have the same conversation and make two different points.
Oh no, hold on. No. Let me elaborate then for you, just so you. So in this situation, they're talking about giving Naruto the key to the power. They're like, oh, the risks are obviously Ninetales will come back to life, and then they're like, and since then hasn't gone well. Naruto starts talking.
Wait, which page are you looking at?
I'm looking at the first panel, the first scan that I sent. It's both pages. They're like talking about the risks on the right hand side. Talk about the Ninetales come fully back to life, and then on the left hand side, Naruto starts talking about like how, oh, I gave in to the Ninetales as well. I hurt Sakura. Then Yamato says I need to fight using my power and not the Ninetales' power, right? And says in real battle, hate can come out. So I didn't want to. Didn't want the Ninetales' power anymore. So here he's saying he doesn't want the Ninetales' power anymore, right? And then he says, but when Hinata got taken down, I lost it, and it's there. Now I'm okay. The fourth Hokage rebuilt the scan, the seal. By the way, we're on the second scan now. He says, okay, so I didn't want to use its power, but Hinata got taken down and I lost it. But the fourth Hokage rebuilt the seal, and it could fall apart again. But I need the Ninetales' power to fight Sasuke. So this is all the same thing. This is Naruto. This is all connected. Naruto is making the same overarching point where he's talking about his journey in relation to the Ninetales' power. Didn't want to use it. Didn't want to use it. Didn't want to use it.
But
now
what I'm referencing is not like because like you remember like prior to this, right? Like Fukasaku and like Yamato or whatever his name is, they're like explaining like how the Ninetales chakra works and how if you want to make the power you own, you have to have a strong will, right? Like it takes a strong will to free Kurama's like will from his chakra, right? That's what KCM 1 is. So like
you need to have a strong will. Yeah, I'm assuming it's 490. I can just pull up 490 as well.
Yeah.
Just so we can like do a little read along. If you pull it up as well. Let me scroll through. The Ninetales' power comes from so the explanation, Lord Fukasaku, the Ninetales' power, it comes from the Ninetales' chakra mixing in with the Ninetales as well. To control the Ninetales' power, one needs to extract the Ninetales chakra, convert it into one's own chakra, and thus make it one's own power. Is that what you're referencing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Naruto would be making it his own power. That's true. But it's still originating from the Ninetales, which is what Naruto is saying here.
Yeah,
hence why the whole thing is connected.
Yeah, so the point I'm making is that like him being afraid of the Ninetales is clearly because he doesn't have the will to like combat Kurama's hatred, right? So he's like, well, I can't control myself around the Ninetales, or I can't control myself with the Ninetales power. So fuck it, I'm just not going to use it.
Doesn't seem to be what he says here, though.
What do you mean?
Because as I say, it's Naruto's like, in real battle, hate can come out, all that shit, right? He talks about just the Ninetales' power as a whole.
Yeah, because the Ninetales links to his hatred.
Yeah, he said, the Ninetales links to his hatred, but the Ninetales' power coming out isn't like it doesn't all come out in V2.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, So then Naruto has set himself a standard of not using Kurama's power. And then today he gets educated that he can like use Kurama's power in this way.
Yeah.
Right. And he's talking to these guys.
Yeah,
and
but
he
prior
says,
to that, he didn't know that. Prior
yeah,
to
he,
this,
he,
like,
he didn't. Yeah, he didn't. Yeah, he didn't know that. So
okay, yeah. So here's the argument, right? So this statement is like the reason why he's so frightful is because like he doesn't know that this is like something he can do, right? Like obviously he hadn't met with Minato, and Minato doesn't explain to him like or give him that confidence boost, so to speak, right? So like the point is, right? Like the shit you're using earlier, right? Of him like running away from being the Nine Tails Jinchuriki, it's just because of him like not having like or him prior to not having confidence that he can actually control it. So he just seals it away and never uses it. But that's not the case now.
What is that?
Okay, that defeats the idea that that like he's trying to like suppress the Nine Tails chakra, right? Because if he knows now he can control the Nine Tails power, right? Like Minato's like, yeah, I believe in you. I know you can do this, right? And he's like, okay, well now I don't have to run away from being a Jinchuriki. I don't have to suppress his power. I'm gonna actually confront it and try to gain this power, right? There's obviously a difference from when back in chapter 300 when he didn't know this and didn't know he can actually try to strive to control Kurama's power because he never does that. Like he instead of like trying to like confront his hatred, he just says, "No, I'm just not gonna fucking use it."
So then your claim now is the fact that okay, since he won't lose control, unless he goes V2, that he'll be like fine, right? So you're saying he's going to solely rely on V1? Is that the claim then? That's like what you're saying before?
Well, no, well, I don't know exactly how Naruto views like Kurama's chakra being in control, right? But
hold on, you're gonna have to restart that. My laptop disconnected for a second.
Yeah, so like I was saying, like it's just him. Like we don't know exactly like how he views like because like he can just view it as like the six tails form, but with more control. Or all like we don't know exactly like what he's envisioning when he says Nine Tails chakra, right? But
you're gonna have to tell me what he's envisioning because for your claim to
it doesn't
work,
well what he's
for your likelihood to
matter.
work. I
I'll tell you what
it does matter because if he loses control, then obviously
if he believes that he can now control it, right? He can just that's the point, right? Is that like it doesn't matter exactly what the power is. All we know is that he needs it. That's the point. Yeah, so you're trying to get me to like pigeonhole myself into saying it's V1, right? But he just says the Nine Tails chakra. He just says he needs the Nine Tails chakra. So it doesn't matter what the form.
But okay, this is where you're lost because you're trying to like use this like established notion that Naruto like has willingly and like makes the choice to go into Kurama's power, and therefore that sets a precedent. But then we've gone over the fact that as of late, Naruto has like he doesn't do that willingly, and we've found no examples of him doing that willingly except one time, which was hatred, which then no longer applied.
Yeah, but those
was the reason we got into.
To know he can control the power, though.
Okay, so now the thing is, I'm aware.
Wait. Let me explain it.
No, I understand what your claim is, but you're not understanding the fact that I'm aware of that. But you've not proven to me at all that Naruto, after a certain point, willingly likes going into the Nine Tails of power to fight people, because that's obviously the trend you're trying to prove exists in order to demonstrate to me that your interpretation of this scene is more likely.
Let me tie it together. If you still have contention, we can move on because it's kind of going on. Yeah. So the point is, right? You use this this scan of right from chapter 300 to like prove he doesn't really like using it, right? So and we know he's gonna try to like tie this power down. So like it's most likely he's just gonna, like he said before, rely on his own power. But this is prior to him getting this like confidence boost from Minato, right? And learning that, you can, instead of being a retard and not using the Nine Tails power, you can be smart and actually learn how to fucking control the thing so you can use it to battle people, right? That's why I fucking gave you the thing, right? So this standard from chapter 300 doesn't work anymore because of this newfound information he has. So to link that back here, right? It wouldn't be like a thing of, well, oh, he's gonna like give into his hatred and like go V2 and fight Sasuke, and right? It's more like, I'm gonna learn to control this power, and then this power will help me defeat Sasuke.
Okay. I'll now clarify what my point is. And if you think that it's already been addressed in what you just said or something you said prior,
honestly, that just works as the conclusion. You could just give your conclusion. Yeah.
Okay. Then I can just give my conclusion then. Okay, cool. Okay, so my conclusion was simply just that, all right, I was bringing this up to kind of explain why him losing it versus Hinata, versus Pain and the Orochimaru situation are not actually evidence of Naruto like willingly using Kurama's power to kind of delve into the idea that, to willingly use the power to fight against particularly powerful opponents he can't beat before, which was the initial claim you made to substantiate your reasoning as to why your interpretation of the statement we were arguing out to begin with to be like true or more likely. So without that reasoning or any substantiation for that reasoning, which you no longer would have, your interpretation would not then be any more likely than it was before. And Naruto being able to use Kurama's power now to fight wouldn't then serve as evidence of your claim, because then like you've still not given evidence of the idea that Naruto seeks the Nine Tails' power for intentionally greater strength to fight particularly strong opponents. You've just shown that like he can do so without Berserk. So we can just move on.
Yeah, I guess that's it.
Cool. So I'm assuming then you're just saying like, since he needs the Nine Tails' power to fight him, and if your interpretation of it being it would just lead to your conclusion. If you won that point, it would lead to your conclusion. I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So then can I do my argument now?
Are you gonna use the thoughts of mutual death shit?
Yeah. Same shit as I usually use, yeah.
I'll just to save time, I'll just say this, right? If I won this point, then like, because they're kind of both tied to each other, right? They're like he's gonna go try to control the Nine Tails and then use this to fight Sasuke, and that like would lead to the mutual death.
Okay, so your response is the fact that Naruto is going to go master Kurama, and what he means in this interpretation is the fact that like if your argument went through, obviously before, it would mean that like
it would be most likely that he's talking about like
Kurama's what he's talking. Yeah. I mean, my only problem.
That's what I was getting at.
My only problem with that would then be the fact that Sasuke, like he says, you see it too. If we fight, we'll die. And at this point, Sasuke would have like no reason to believe that Naruto's going after Kurama's power. So that'd be like the only problem I'd have with that.
Well, he can just see that that's what Naruto's thinking. Like that could just be a thought he has like after they clash.
Can you? Well, obviously, it's when they clash that they have the mutual thoughts, and we see what the thoughts are. So.
Yeah, and I'm saying like the interpretation I'm giving now is contingent on what I said earlier.
But then I'm telling you, like he said to Sasuke, like it should be common knowledge to him that he's attaining Nine Tails' power because they clashed and they saw one another's thoughts. But then we see the thoughts that they have, and the thoughts are just them talking. So.
I don't. What the fuck are you trying to say?
Like I'm trying to say that, like, even if you won your point, it doesn't inherently serve as a defeater to my point, because of the fact that, like, he says to Sasuke, "Oh, you can see it too. If we fight, we'll die." And Sasuke has no way of knowing that Naruto is going to seek out Kurama. your reasoning for what he does or does is or could rather is the fact that when they clash, they like saw one.
Wait, how do you know for certain that that he doesn't like that can't be a thought in his, because like I think like you were saying this yesterday, right? That he can like sense Sasuke's power, right? So like he can be like, oh shit, this nigga has a Susanoo. I need to like this can be his thoughts leading up to the clash where he's like, okay, now I need to like
see those
master
faults.
this power.
But would Sasuke have seen those? Okay, if that's the case, would Sasuke have seen those?
Well, that's what's in question. And what I'm arguing now is my previous point.
But your previous point, your previous point doesn't prove that, because Naruto can have those thoughts in his head and not be like those not be thoughts that Sasuke sees. So I need you to show
well, we don't like, how do you know what thoughts Sasuke does see and he doesn't see?
Hey, you know, there's this crazy thing that happens where we see what they see actually.
Which is like
their conversation.
Sasuke clashing with like
no. What they see is one another talk to one another. That's what their high level like clashing shows them. We're visibly showing. Okay, when two high level shinobi clash, they can read one another's thoughts, right? And we see what those thoughts are. The thoughts are their conversation. That's what we see. We visibly see what they see.
Yeah, I don't know what you're getting at.
That's my fucking dog. All right, do me a quick favor. Let me get the chapter right quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. I'm fairly sure.
Because I'm assuming you don't believe like SM Naruto would die to a fatigued Sasuke, right?
No, man. Of course I believe that. I just think that they're both relative. Of fucking course, you freak.
Yeah. So like.
Okay, go to chapter 485.
Wait, hold up, because I'm getting at a point, right? So like,
I'm holding up.
If they don't show, because like we don't fucking see them. We never get any flashback of them like killing each other, right? But we know that's a thought they have, but we don't see that.
Yeah, but we see what thoughts they do exchange.
No, we don't, because we never see them fucking die. That's never shown on panel.
Oh my fucking god. Sasuke can come to the conclusion without reading Naruto's thoughts. Why do you think that he has to come to the conclusion after reading Naruto's thoughts? What the fuck? Who said that?
No, but your claim is that we see what they mean, right? And you're using that to...
My claim was that we see what they mean is a defeater to you saying that Sasuke sees Naruto's thoughts about needing the Nine Tails of Power to fight him. You freak.
Wait, so are you saying they can read each other's thoughts and see them? Those are like two different things, or are they conjoined?
What the fuck is going on with you, dog?
Bro. Okay, because
let me run it back to you. Right?
Hold up, wait. Let me say this thing, and if there's a problem, we can like attack it.
All right.
Because like what I'm getting at, right, is regardless of whether he sees it or thinks it or comes to that conclusion, I don't give a fuck, right? But like all I would need is him like in this scenario, right, of like Naruto running up to Sasuke, right, and this thought being in his head, whether he sees it or comes to that conclusion or thinks it or whatever, right, or reads his mind or whatever the fuck, right, that's all I would need to like.
I'm saying he doesn't.
For like this thing to be in his mind.
I'm saying that he doesn't see that.
Okay, so this is like where we got into this whole point, was that we don't see them die at all.
No, dog. Oh, what the fuck is with you, dog? Okay, let me run this back to you. So the claim that you need to right now is the fact that Sasuke could see in Naruto's head or Naruto's thoughts that Naruto needs the Nine Tails' power to fight Sasuke. That's what he envisions, right? That's what you need to demonstrate. But we then see the thoughts that they exchange. The exchange is what Naruto thinks about Sasuke. He never said during this thought exchange.
I kind of already addressed this. So.
Okay, well, I'll just say this. If you want to go and have a look, you can. If you feel like you've already addressed it and you don't need to look, You don't have to. But on pages...
Yeah, just send
14,
that shit. Send that shit real quick.
Okay, I'll just send it. Cool. So we'll see the thoughts that Naruto shares to Sasuke. Naruto's thoughts are here. We see some of Sasuke's thoughts as well. So the thoughts that Sasuke sees from Naruto. I used to think I didn't have bonds with anybody until I met you, Master Ruka, and that you're alone. He's basically talking